Hey guys, it's Steph here. I'm hanging out on my back porch. I have a flower bed behind me. Half of it gets full shade and half of it gets full sun all day long. So I wanted to recommend some shrubs for the full shade area and the full sun area, especially if you're dealing with a flower bed that you have this issue where it's a bit challenging. So I have experimented with a lot of different shrubs over the years and I finally think I figured it out. So let's take a look. I bought a new shrub that I just discovered that I'm going to highlight, and I have a cute little front edge of the border perennial that is very unique that I'm going to highlight. So let's take a look at it. This is the north facing side of my house, and then obviously you can see where it's shaded. So I actually had some fern in here. I didn't really want the fern in here anymore. I wanted something with a little bit bigger leaves, a little bit more size, and grew a little bit more quickly. Ferns grow so slow and I'm really impatient. So I put in some of this sub and substance hostas that I had in a previous bed that were getting too much sun, and they are loving this spot. So this area over here gets a lot of moisture. It doesn't dry out very quickly. So it's pretty, I wouldn't say it's soggy, but it's quite moist. It's not wet. So I need some stuff in here that can tolerate those conditions. And so I've got 3 of those Sum and Substance hostas. The grasshoppers do love them, the slugs, but I just deal with it because I still think they're quite pretty. But look at the color in this deep shade area. So it's gonna provide a nice pop of color. And then I had some sweet woodruff in here that was just too gangly. I think it was just too much moisture, too much shade. Put some heuchera in here. This is the black pearl. And so these are gonna fill in. These get quite large. They'll get up to 3 to 5 feet tall and wide. And so it's gonna fill up these. And so you're just gonna have a little pop of that heuchera and they'll fill in a little bit, but they can handle the shade and they're gonna handle the moisture just fine. And then right here, I'm actually gonna drift some more of the hostas. I wanna show you this angle over here. So hostas just are so tough. And I can put them in drier areas, I can put them in moisture areas, and they just do really well. So I'm just sticking with what I know is gonna succeed. Just add some more of those hostas to kind of blend in with this bottom section. They'll be a little bit smaller. So see that nice drift that's gonna go along with the hosta right here. It's got a little bit more variegation. I was excited about this hosta because it's got a little bit more green in it, but has some nice variegation. And it's the Hosta Lakeside Paisley print. Really cute. Okay, so now I'm gonna move to the full sun area. I have some goom right here. These are some spring blooming, beautiful, cute little dainty flowers. I just divided a bunch of them. So they're gonna border this edge right here. And then I put a few back here and back there just so it kind of naturalizes throughout this whole entire area. Okay, so now I'm gonna highlight the shrub that I am going to be planting. This is the Night Glow Diarrhea. So it gets about 2 to 3 feet tall to 2 to 3 feet wide. I wanted a shrub here, something with a little bit more structure. And then I've added those gooms as a cute little perennial in spring. But I'm so excited when I discovered this. I just was a little bit more patient. Sometimes your patience pays off. I was gonna put some ligularia in here, but it's a perennial and it just kind of dies off in the winter. I wanted something more significant. So this is perfect. It kind of looks like that ligularia. It's a little bit tougher. The bugs and grasshoppers don't seem to like it as much. And so that's perfect. But I'm really excited because look at those cute little flowers you're gonna get in spring. And it's really gonna pop in spring. And then when fall comes around, it's gonna just glow and be beautiful and provide such a nice color. So it's a really cool shrub to have for interest all garden season. So it's 2 to 3 feet tall and wide, and it's cold hardy all the way down to zone 3. So I have 3 of them I'm gonna put in the ground. They do love the heat, so put them in a full sun area. A few words of caution before planting this bush is, like all honeysuckle bushes, they do produce suckers, but this makes them very hardy and adaptable, good for erosion control. If you don't want to deal with that, you can put them in some container pots. They make great patio plants, but just make sure that you're about 2 zones warmer than the cold hardiness of this shrub in order to make sure that it winters over just fine in that container pot. Other than that, there's not a lot of maintenance with this shrub. They do bloom on new wood, so I can kind of cut them back in spring if I'd like, and they'll put on a lot of nice growth, keep them nice and bushy. Can cut out the dead in early spring, and then once they're done blooming, you can prune them to encourage them to rebloom. So that's awesome. I can get second blooms out of this beautiful shrub. So let's finally get it in the ground. Okay, I just took it out of its container. I can see one of those little suckers, but remember, they've been in their container for a long time. Loosen up some of those roots if they look super root bound. This one doesn't look too bad. I might cut that one off. There were just a few suckers that I pulled off, but at this point you can throw in some root stimulator if you'd like, some fertilizer. I'm planting it in August, so it's really hot. I'm just gonna make sure they're watered until established. But once they are established, they're actually fairly drought tolerant, which is another bonus to this shrub. This next one I've completely fallen in love with. It's gonna provide some nice variegation interest. So I had some clover here, a clover ground cover, an ornamental one. Hated it. It was spreading way too quickly. I would definitely consider it invasive. This one is not going to be invasive, and look at those cute leaves. This is the Little Angel Saguasorba, and it gets about 10 to 12 inches wide and 8 to 10 inches tall, so it's not very big, and it's cold hardy down to zone 4, and then it blooms mid to late summer. So I love that the blooms are so cute, but when they're done blooming, you're still going to have this beautiful foliage, and it comes a little bit later than everything right here, so it's going to provide that mid-season interest. And then I've got some peony bare roots right here. There's 3 of them. I'm gonna have to buy one more. One of them just seemed to die off. I'm not sure why. I tried dividing them and it just didn't go so well. But these are gonna get nice and big. They're gonna provide some beautiful blooms, and I think these are just gonna be so cute in front of those peonies. So I just needed a few more, and I thought maybe I could divide this. So I'm looking at it, and I definitely think it's one that I could split into 2. Perfect. They divided just fine. All right, let's get them in the ground. I just have them bordering this front edge, and then they're wrapping around a little bit. So I was able to get 2 extra plants. So they will benefit from some part shade in my hot climate. I live in a zone 6B, and it's a desert, not a lot of humidity. And so it does get some morning shade, and then the late afternoon with this pergola and my trees. It's pretty much shaded for the rest of the day around 4:30, so I think this will be perfect. One last thing to note with that plant, it's also known as the Little Angel Dwarf Burnet. It's such a charming plant, but it does like the moist soil, even wet soil. When I was digging up in this soil, it's actually pretty wet, so it's gonna be perfect. Anyway, so that variegation is gonna be awesome. Don't have any of that in this flower bed. I'm just really excited because I think I finally figured out what to plant in this more challenging flower bed. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you guys like this video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, the like button if you like the video, and the notification bell so you can see the future updates on all of these things that I plant. I hope you guys are having a great day. Have a great day gardening, and I will see you in the next one. We'll talk to you later. Bye.